Hello and welcome to this lesson of Mastering Java. Today we're going to continue talking about output to the screen and better ways to format it. So if you guys remember and if you did follow and if you watched my last video, which if you did not, I would encourage you to watch because it's important to build up your knowledge from lesson to lesson. Skipping around is not going to help you as much. So if you did not check out my last video, please go ahead and do that. So in the last video we talked about system.out.println and quotation marks, and we talked about how everything inside the quotation mark is outputted onto the screen. So this is the command to output onto the screen, and we can say I like to code. Now see we have an error here because it's system, not syst. Okay, so system.out.println I like to code, semicolon at the end. This is fine because if you remember, it must be in between the curly braces. That's our entire code, unless we're doing other things, but we're not there yet. But for now, it must fall in between the curly braces. So system.out.println, that's a very basic command, and it's going to output everything in the quotations onto the screen. I like to code. Let's try that. There we go. I like to code. No problem there. Pretty simple, right? Okay, now what happens if I would like to say underneath this I also like to draw? System.out.println, you can say I also like to draw. Alright, no problem. That should print fine. Okay, good. So if we're writing if we're writing a code, we're not just going to keep on doing this every single time. System.out.println, it's going to get tedious and it's going to become really long, and it's going to make your program look or your code more likely look very unkept. So the best way to do this is system.out.println I like to code \n, and actually I don't need that, I'll explain why. And I like to draw. Okay, now let's run this. There we go. Oh my god, my typing today is horrific, excuse me. System.out.println I like to code and I like to draw, and as we see, it's the same thing. This command is the same. It's telling the computer force a new line over here, and I like to draw. So everything after this forces a new line, and everything comes onto a new line. So you don't need to do a whole other system.out.println. That's tedious and it becomes a waste of time. So you can simply say system.out.println I like to play video games to that's a forward slash \n. I also like to cook \n, and I don't like school. You see everything here, it's gonna appear on a new line. You see? And you see how I like to code and I like to draw, and then the next line immediately appears, I like to play video games too. You can also force a new line in front of your code. So you see it skips a line right here, just skip that line. So that's because we forced the new line with the \n command. So if I go over here and I say \n, \n, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to force 4 new lines. You see, it's going to keep skipping lines. So remember that the command \n is for a new line. So I'm just going to put that in comments here. \n forces a new line. So you can remember, if you remember, we learned about commenting. The code program's going to ignore everything here. But if I also take that out, make it a thing, you're going to get an error, because that's an actual line now. So 2 slashes, 2 forward slashes, comments out everything on that line. Just gonna press enter, bring this onto a new line. It still continues your code just so it can be readable. I just brought that onto a new line. And another thing that you need to know is system.out.println. I'm gonna say I like to program. Now I wanna I like to program, and I'm gonna list the reasons why. I could easily use spaces to format it properly, but there's another command for that goes, okay, I'll just use spaces for now. I'll say because it is fun. Okay, now I'm gonna add a \n over here so we get a new line. Okay, I like to program because it is fun. Now I did add a lot of spaces, but there's an easy command for a tab, and that's \t. So we had \n new line and \t tab gives you space. It's just a simple tab. So if you have in your code, I like to program \t, and then you type because it is fun. That output is going to give you, and go all the way back so you see. It's going to, there we go, you see, because it is fun. Now let's take out \t. You see, because it's fun. So \t forces a new line. Sorry, not a new line. It forces a tab and gives you space, the space that's required. So bear with me if it's a little hard for you, because it's also hard for me. I'm still getting used to making videos. So \t forces a new tab, and \n forces a new line. So let's take an example. Let's do something with the two of them. System.out.println. You can say I like to read books \n if they are interesting, comma, some titles I have read are. I'm just gonna press enter here to bring that onto a new line. Okay, nothing's gonna change. I just brought it onto a new line so I can continue my code where I can see it. I like to read books. Oh, that's a mistake over here. I like to read books if they are interesting. Some titles I have read are. Put this over here. All in one line of code. \t. Harry Potter. \t again. The Last Hero. \t. Programming for Dummies. Semicolon. That's the end of our code on this line. System.out.println. I like to read books. \n forces a new line. Make sure you're understanding what's going on here. \n is going to force a new line, just like this. I also like to cook, and I don't like school. So I like to read books. If everything's correct, then a new line if they are interesting with the space here. Unless if I don't want the space, then I backspace. \n if they are interesting. Some titles I have read are \t, so it's going to cause, there's going to be a little space here. Harry Potter, The Last Hero. Oh, I forgot a comma right here. And Programming for Dummies. Programming. Now let's run that. You see, just as we wanted it. I like to read books if they are interesting. Some titles I have read are Harry Potter, The Last Hero, and Programming for Dummies. So just make sure you're understanding what's going on here. The \n forces a new line, \t a new tab, system.out.println outputs onto the screen. So you can write any text you want inside the quotations, and then you use your \n to force a new line without having to go with a whole other system.out.println, because that's going to get tedious. \t is tab, gives you a tab, a space. So we're going to move on to an exercise right now. and I would like you to try the exercise out for yourself before looking at the answers. So I'm going to put the exercise up on the screen. Just pause the video, take some time, solve the exercise, and then continue the video, and the solution will be at the end of the video. Okay, so this is the exercise. Write a program that outputs the following text formatted as below. Black Panther now showing. It has to be the exact same format as you see. Black Panther on the first line. Hours Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Lowest prices in town. Notice how there's a space in between. Single seats $5.95, double seats $7.95. So try this out for yourself. Try and work it out before you continue the rest of the video, and pause the video right here. As soon as you're done or you get stuck, then you can play the video, and we're going to go do it, and I'm going to do it and show you guys the solution. Okay guys, so here I am, and I have the question right here in the form of a comment. It says, write the output that follows the text formatted as below. Black Panther now showing. So the first thing we know that we have to use system.out.print outn Black Panther now showing. Okay. Now we can easily use, and we can go on a new line and do a whole other system.out.println, but that defeats the entire purpose of this lesson, and we trying to use as much effort as possible when writing our code. So \n hours Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. \n, that looks like two lines. So lowest prices in town. Just gonna go over here and press enter. Lowest prices in town. Okay. \n, that's a new line. Single seats \t, forces a tab, remember that. Double seats \n, new line, $5.95 \t, $7.95. Now let's see. I'm gonna hit run. Okay, the $7, everything else came out exactly as we wanted it. Black Panther, hours, lowest prices in town, single seats, double seats, but the $7.95, that needs more than one tab. \t, let's go one more, \t, no, 3 should be fine. There we go. Okay, looks like 2 is fine. \t, there we go. Look at that. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I urge you guys to practice every day. Just write a simple line of code, or you can go back and redo the exercises, but keep on practicing. It's the only way to keep your mind fresh. You have to be consistent. If you're consistent in anything you do, you will succeed. Thank you guys for watching this video.